Learn Math, Filipino version. So last time, present natin yung mga theorems na pwede nating magamit kapag mag-evaluate tayo ng limit ng isang given function. So let's present some examples. Our example here is to take the limit of the function 5x minus 3 as x approaches negative 4. The given function natin is a difference of two functions. So from the theorems presented before, pwede nating i-take yung limit ng first function and then minus, take the limit again of the second function. Applying another theorem na discussed before, pwede nating ilabas na yung constant doon sa may limit at i-take na lang yung limit ng maiiwan na function. So we have here 5 limit of x minus the limit of 3. Yung limit ng x as x approaches negative 4 is negative 4. So we have 5 times negative 4 minus 3. And 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. Minus 3, we have negative 23. If nahihirapan kayong mag-simplify ng sum or difference ng integers, you can practice using your calculators. Kung gusto natin mag-evaluate ng limit, let's try to evaluate the value of the given function when x is equal to the number that it approaches. If the one that we get is a number that exists, then that would be the limit of our given function. So kapag mag-evaluate tayo, ito yung shortened version natin. We'll change x by negative 4. Magkakaroon tayo ng 5 times negative 4 minus 3. So wala nang limit sa harapan nito ngayon kasi nag-evaluate na tayo ng limit this time. And 5 times negative 4 is minus 3, so we have negative 23. So dahil nag-exist ang number na negative 23, ito na yung limit ng ating function. Let us consider another example. This time we are given with the function 2x squared minus 4x plus 1, and we want to take its limit as x approaches 3. Let's try to evaluate the given function when x is equal to 3. If the value of that exists, then that would be the limit of our function. Siyempre, pag hindi nag-exist, ibang story na yan. So we have the x is substituted with 3, and we now have 2 times 3 squared minus 4. X is substituted with 3, okay, and plus 1. So we're just going to simplify this. And we get 2 times 9 minus 4 times 3 plus 1. 2 times 9 is 18. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, and we have 1. Simplifying that, we get 7. How about this example? This time, meron tayong rational function na x minus 3 over x plus 3. We want to take its limit as x approaches 1. Let's try to evaluate. We change x by 1, and we have 1 minus 3 over 1 plus 3. We get negative 2 over 4, and that's negative 1 over 2. Does this number exist? Yes. So, ito na yung kanyang limit, negative 1 over 2. How about this one? On this example, we have this time x squared minus 9 over x squared minus 4x plus 3, and we want to take its limit as x approaches 3. Now, let's observe what happens when we evaluate the value of the function when x is equal to 3. So, substitute natin yung x ng mga 3 and get the following. 3 squared minus 9. Yung x squared doon, naging 3 squared. Okay, minus 4 times 3 plus 3. 3 squared is 9. This 3 squared here is 9. Okay, and minus 4 times 3, that would be minus 12. 9 minus 9 is 0 over 0. So, 0 over 0 does not exist. So, hindi natin ilalagay na ang limit ng ating function as 0 over 0. If we have 0 over 0, siguro may kailangan kang gawin doon sa yung given na function para makuha yung kanyang limit. So, what we want is to rewrite the given function where we can find, okay, something like this in such a way that we can factor out a factor in the numerator and the denominator. And then let's try to evaluate again the remaining expression as x approaches 3. So we're going to try to factor the numerator and the denominator. We factor the numerator, so difference of two squares. Please review your factoring. Okay, and if we review your factoring, x squared minus 9, ang factor niyan ay x minus 3 times x plus 3. And if you factor the denominator, x squared minus 4x plus 3, that's a trinomial. Pag finactor natin yan, we'll get x minus 3 times x minus 1. So observe that in our numerator, okay, we have x minus 3, and in our denominator, we have another x minus 3. We can cancel these both, and we will be left with x plus 3 over x minus 1. We are now going to try to take its value when x is equal to 3. And if the value exists, that would be the limit. Pero pag hindi nag-exist, ibang story na naman ito. Take the value of this expression when x is equal to 3. So we have 3 plus 3 over 3 minus 1. And we get 6 over 2. Simplify it and we get 3. So the limit of this expression here is actually 3. Let's consider another example. We want to take the limit of x squared minus 1 over the square root of x minus 1 as x approaches 1. Let's try to evaluate the value of the function when x is equal to 1. We change x with 1 and have 1 squared minus 1 over the square root of 1 minus 1. We yet again get 0 over 0. So we now manipulate the given function again, aiming na may makakancel tayo sa numerator and the denominator. But this time, kung ma-observe natin, yung denominator natin parang hindi na siya na-factor. Well, sa numerator, walang problema. Kaya nating i-factor yan. Pero yung denominator, hindi kaya. And observe again that yung denominator, naka-square root yung buong x minus 1. So, what we want is probably think of a way na kung paano matatanggal yung square root sa denominator. So we're going to multiply, okay, square root of x minus 1 over square root of x minus 1. So bakit natin ito gustong i-multiply? Take note, walang magbabago dun sa ating given function because this quantity is just equal to 1 when x is not equal to 1. At bakit ito yung ating minultiply? Kasi pag minultiply natin yung denominator, we'll get this quantity. At pag sinimplify natin yan, that's just equal to x minus 1. Wala nang square root sa denominator. So, let's do it step by step. So again, na-observe natin na yung denominator natin, lahat ng nakalagay doon ay naka-square root. So we're going to multiply square root of x minus 1 over the square root of x minus 1. This quantity is just equal to 1. Let's now try to simplify. Okay, let's just write it. Okay, don't expand it. Okay, so yung denominator natin naging ganito na. And if we simplify this one, we'll get x minus 1. May makakancel na ba tayo? O wala pa. Saan kaya tayo makakahanap ng x minus 1 sa numerator na pwede nating i-cancel with the denominator? Itong x squared minus 1, pwede pala natin siyang i-factor into x plus 1 times x minus 1. So here, pwede na natin i-cancel itong x minus 1 here and then x minus 1 sa denominator. At ito na yung may iiwan na expression sa atin. We want to take the limit of this function as x approaches 1. So let's try to determine the value of this expression when x is equal to 1. Pag nag-exist yung number na yun na yung limit. So we change x by 1. So I have 1 plus 1 times the square root of 1 minus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2 and 1 minus 1 is 0. The square root of 0 will be 0. And 2 times 0 is 0. So the limit of our given function as x approaches 1 is actually 0. Let's consider another example. Our example now seems to be more complex. We want to take the limit of 1 minus x squared all over 4 minus the square root of x squared plus 15 as x approaches 1. Let's try to determine its value when x is equal to 1. And if we substitute, we found out that we get 0 over 0. So this time, again, let's think of a way to manipulate our given function in such a way na may makakancel sa numerator at denominator. So kanina, ang lahat ng mga nasa denominator ay naka-square root. However, this time, yung 4 hindi na siya nakasama dun sa loob ng square root. So if given tayo ng ganyan at naka-square root yun, what we can multiply is the conjugate of the denominator. So let's try to multiply its conjugate. And ang conjugate nito ay, okay, yung palitan mo lang yung minus doon ng operation niya which is plus. At kung plus naman ito, palitan mo lang ito ng minus. Okay, bakit ganun yung gusto natin? Para ma-apply natin yung special products na product of sum and difference. And observe that yung buong minultiply lang natin, ang buong quantity na to, ay equal sa 1. Now, let's try to simplify. So we have the product sa numerator and here. Okay, again, don't expand. Let's observe first what happens. Pag sinimplify natin yung denominator, okay, we have the product of sum and difference. Okay, kung hindi nyo na siya naaalala, yun ay parang a plus b times a minus b. At ang product niyan ay equal sa a squared minus b squared. So, square natin yung 4, that would be 16, minus, ano yung square nito? So, we have square root of x squared plus 15 quantity squared. Let's try to simplify. Kinapi lang natin yung numerator. And yung denominator nung sinimplify natin, 16 minus 15, that's 1, and may iwan minus x kasi dinistribute na natin yung minus doon sa denominator. So we get here 1 minus x squared. May makakancel na ba? Oh, it seems meron na tayong makakancel. This 1 minus x squared and this one. So we want to evaluate it when x equal to 1. Tingnan nga natin kung anong mangyayari. And does that number exist? So we have 4 plus yung x magiging 1 plus 15. Simplifying this one, we have 1 plus 15 is 16. The square root of 16 is 4. And 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. So ang limit ng ating given function is equal to 8. Next time, pag-aaralan natin what happens when, okay, ang makukuha natin pag nag-evaluate tayo ay hindi na 0 over 0, but a number not equal to 0 over 0. Ano kaya yung limit nun? Abangan sa next na video. Thank you!